Today I'll be giving tips on how to choose sponsor decals. I have some things that I keep in mind when I'm choosing the sponsors, and these are not hard rules, but I end up with a more realistic livery if I use them. Some of these rules also will not apply if you're creating a more gaming themed livery instead of a motorsport livery. I usually start with what's already present on the car. Then I choose a major sponsor. It could be my team name or it could be a major sponsor that takes precedence over the team name. Then I avoid sponsors with when I'm filling in the rest of the sponsors, I avoid sponsors with conflicting interests. What I mean by that is if you have a fuel sponsor like Shell, for example, don't choose another sponsor that is also supplying fuel, like Petronas. And I make it a point to choose appropriate regional sponsors. So if I have a Japanese car, I make sure that I'm using Japanese brands. I can go as far as researching exactly what brands are offering which products for which cars, but I think that's a bit nitpicking. And if you're a bit familiar with a wide range of brands already, I think it's unnecessary to do so. Finally, I make sure that I place logos with the products in mind. There are specific places where brand logos go depending on the product, and they are based on marketing best practices, so I try to follow this as much as I can. This is a rule that I break most as aesthetics can get in the way of the product placement. So here's an example of finding out what's already inside the car. So I just move the car around a bit, I try to rotate and zoom in. And on this particular car, we can see that there are Recaro seats and there's a Schroth racing harness. And I think there are Dunlop tires and BBS racing rims. Although, if you are also trying to customize the tires and the rims, then you just choose whatever tire or rim combination you've chosen. And as you can see here, I've created folders inside my favorites folder, and they're based on product types. So it's easier for me to find a specific brand based on the product type. So here I'm placing the Recaro sticker and also the Schroth racing sticker. And you might notice that I placed it on the windows or near the windows of the car, and the reason for this is that if if you're covering the race and you have the cameras pointed at the window, the people are going to wonder what type of harnesses or what type of seats are in there, and it's good to place the sponsor stickers or the sponsor logos near the products that they're sponsoring. So you're going to find a lot of the tire brands near the tires, for example. So now we'll go through an example of sponsor placement, and we'll be using a real-life livery, the BMW Valkenhorst livery, to illustrate the points that I made earlier on. And as you can see, the tire and suspension sponsors are placed near the tires and the suspension. And something you might notice for this particular car is that the there's a Falcon livery, Falcon sponsor sticker right there next to the Dunlop tires. And I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if it's really present in the actual livery. But you can't rule out the fact that Falcon might be sponsoring the car, but then Dunlop tires are part of the regulations. And that can happen, it's a possibility. So let's talk about the major sponsor. And like I mentioned, the major sponsor's name should be prominent all around the car. So for this particular car, PlayStation is the major sponsor, and BMW Falkenhorst is the team name. And there are cases where the racing team is more than capable of financing themselves, so you can always have the largest sponsor sticker as the team name. Of course, if you're creating your own fictional livery, you can play around with whatever history you want. You can create your own team's history. You can create your own sponsors. But it really does help to keep these in mind to build a more realistic type of livery and also a more realistic type of team. So we'll go through another example livery, and this is just to illustrate that the basic rules are being followed in terms of sticker placement. So here you'll see the Falcon and the BBS rims are being used by the car, and you're going to see the stickers right next to it. And if you see some stickers that are out of place, it might be because it's hard to put an exact place for them or an exact specific location on the car for them that would coincide with the product that they're sponsoring. What I do suggest is that if you run out of ideas on where to place these sponsors, is to just bunch them into a straight line like what they're doing for this livery. Now, there are times when the rules are broken not because of aesthetics, it's because of marketing strategies. And you have to take into account the people that are viewing the race. So you can see that Fujitsubo is here, but the exhaust pipes aren't there. They're right here at the side of the car. And the reason for having those stickers there is because that's where the viewers are going to expect the exhausts, not at the side of the car. Well, at least for viewers that are not familiar with this particular type of race car. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope you stay tuned for the next video. I'm planning on creating a quick walkthrough on how I create a more gaming themed livery with gaming sponsors like Thrustmaster or Logitech.